Welcome back to the Breslin Center at Michigan State University. I'm Jason Rzucidlo, reporting for AmericaJR.com. Stay tuned for remarks from this year's commencement speaker, Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak.
You should go where you want to go. You're going to achieve on your own in life, and you might as well have fun doing it. I told that to my daughter when she headed off to college. She was an athlete, so she had recruiters coming from all over the country, and the prestigious Ivy League schools sound impressive. But I told her, you know, it's the most fun 4 years of your life. And every year got more and more fun when I was in college. You should be with people that are like yourself that you're going to have fun with. And you're more of a Southern California girl. That's all I said. A week later, she changed her mind and went to UCLA. So that's the way I believe, point out just, don't force ways, but point out, what you feel. I went to my first year in computers. The introduction to computers was a graduate course, and I was a freshman, but I was allowed to take it because I was in engineering. I wrote every single program I could think of writing. It was my passion to learn to do everything with computers. If it's sitting there, I'm going to use it to its fullest. And the trouble is, and I got a job too, a little job, and I could buy manuals at the computer store for every programming language and every little computer ticket there was. No classes, no grades, just did it for myself. And I ran our class 5 times over budget on the computer deal. I didn't know they had budgets. I was an engineer, not a financial guy. Well, this passion for computers, the rewards were inside my own head. I wanted to learn computers because I could never afford a single part to build one. In high school, I could design any computer in the world in a couple of days. I got so good, but I could never build one. It was pencil and paper tricks. I never thought I'd have a job designing computers. The rewards were in my own head. I'm doing what I like doing. I don't get some people can see on the outside, extrinsic rewards. I don't get a job, a title, a grade in school, a salary, yachts, and prestige. No. Computers for me were the giveaway, so when I developed the first computer, well, it was actually the second computer I built in my life, but it was a great computer. It became the Apple I. I gave it away for free because I was part of a social revolution. These computers were going to give us new ways to communicate, to send messages that hundreds of people could read within an hour over modems. Well, we've gone far past that. And we were going to be able to have better education. Knew as it taught you if you had the right answers or not. And we were going to use 100% of our minds instead of 10%. I was scared that the kids were going to outsmart all of us older people. I was in my young 20s then. And, but the most important thing to me was that these computers, the small little guy, was going to become a master of solving his own problems, go into his huge company with millions of dollar computers, and type in the financial data and pop out the answers, and be more important than the CEO. I wanted to elevate that little guy, just out of college, that has some knowledge and a brain, to have some chance of doing something important. One of the best projects I did for the Apple computers in my life was the first floppy disk drive for a personal computer. My motivation was, if I got it done in 2 weeks, it's a man-year job. If I got it done in 2 weeks, I get to go to Las Vegas and see the lights of that city. And because we have a reason to take me to show it off. And I got it done, and I got to see Las Vegas. An internal reason for doing something is always going to push you to more excellence than any salary or any stock options your company can give you. If you feel it inside, this is what I want to do great just to show off my abilities. Today we're having a great rate of change of how we do things. Everything in life is done differently than it was when I was young. It's hard to keep up with the changes. Well, one university I went to recently gives an iPhone to every single student. They said if the students are living with this technology in their daily lives, we should incorporate what they're used to, their young culture, into our education system. Myself, I've always favored younger people for having the minds and really being the future to fix all the problems we adults have caused and created in the world. I think that someday technology is going to solve the great problems in the world because we'll implant a GPS chip in everybody, we'll have a camera on every corner, we'll always be able to type in your name and see what you're doing 24/7, and you won't want to have children so the population will go down and the world's resources will be maximized. Everything will be Society and school restrict our choices. They teach us there's pretty much only certain ways you go through the maze, through the system. There are only certain things you're expected to do. And the nerds are the unsocialized ones. I think, well, I'm not quite in with the normal. I don't go along with the crowd. I just do different things. For some reason, I'm different. And it encourages you to think independently and say, I'm going to think on my own, come up with my own ideas. I'm not going to follow everybody else and what they're saying. I'm going to believe in myself and my own capabilities. And doing unusual things is okay for a lot of us. And that really is like breaking the rules of society and saying, don't think out of the box. Really, everybody says think out of the box because they say, here's how things are done. You got to do the same thing they've always been done. If you're doing the same thing everyone else is doing, you're just following the crowd. You're not a leader, you're a follower. The further you're going to go in life, in your career, depends more on than your grades at school. It depends more on whether you're well liked by those among you. Try to be nice to people, even if they're mean to you. Turn the other cheek or something, be nice back. You know, if the trouble is you're at that change where your personality is going to stay stable for life. If you're a jerk now, you're going to be a jerk forever. Another small point, I've always believed very much in humor. Laughter is the best medicine. I used to say H equals F, S minus F. Happiness equals smiles minus frowns. You can live your life in a way that you aren't going to have very many frowns. Don't care so much about some issues that if they turn out the wrong way, you're going to be so unhappy with yourself. You're just going to have more unhappiness and stress, muscles pulling in your head for your entire life. Nice to be peaceful and have happiness in life. I changed that formula a little bit once to H equals FQ. Happiness equals 3 F's. Food, fun, and friends. Food is the necessities of life. Fun is entertainment, which has a validity. And friends and family, of course, are important. I told this when I was being put into my high school Hall of Fame, and they started laughing, and I said, oh yeah, there might be a 4th F. A lot of people like to talk, but they don't walk the walk. Be a doer in life. Change things. Make new ideas that help people get something more than they used to have. Our country right now is down the charts more than any country in the world. In every category, when I was your age, we were #1 in the world. Every category of education, of health, of welfare, of economy, of technology. Down, down, down the list. Number 8, number 16, number 30. They keep listing the White House. That's where this comes from. We've got to, where does this come from? Something is wrong and needs changing in our future. When we originally designed the PCs, we wanted to improve things like the education, communication, and making the small guy important and a master of his own fate like I talked about. What about the computers of the future now? Well, it's hard to predict the future. Things come out that you never expected, and they turn out to be really great and important things. The internet. Right now, if you had a tough question, you used to ask a college professor. You used to ask somebody smart. Now you ask somebody whose name starts with G-O. And it's not God I'm talking about. It's Google. So you ask, and you get many more answers back. And it's like, we've got a part of the brain power of the world is now the internet. Did we design the internet to be a brain? No. We happened by accident. Without showing how brains work. We just communicated, we hooked up communication channels between computers. And we let people share things on the web pages that everyone could read. And then we made search engines to find the stuff. And it turns out that is a lot of part of what the brain is. Every time we invent a new computer to do something else, it's doing our work for us, making ourselves less relevant. The cyborgs are winning, the androids are winning. They won 100 years ago, actually, it's not my own opinion. Well, artificial intelligence is really the future. Computers becoming more and more like a real person, a friend you would want to go and meet. Somebody you would talk to that looks at your face, that understands things, that knows what kind of jokes you like, that knows what sort of things to say depending upon how slowly you're talking that day. A real person. It's coming. At first I thought we'd never get there because artificial intelligence has these teeny little aspects of oddball things it discovers, and it's not really like a real human brain. But now we've got our small little phones. Small little phones. One of the things is you've got to have human senses. How could a computer ever create art, for example, if it can't sense things that a human understands, like the wind on a beach? Well, our computers now have hearing and seeing. They've got feeling, touch sensitive. They can sense motion, just like our inner ear. Something they're going to project holograms that look so real, much better than what they call 3D televisions, because the eye isn't as confused by it. We've created a new species. No question. We're creators. And like I said, we're making ourselves less relevant. I'm going to give you a couple pieces of advice. Number 1, don't waste your life. Number 2, make your life fun. Go Spartans.